Welcome, Packers fans. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, all the haters, to this reaction video. The Green Bay Packers lose to the Carolina Panthers 16-13 today. And let's just start off by this. If you would have told me at the start of this game that Bryce Young would have 11 for 20 and 102 yards passing, one interception, and the Packers wouldn't punt today, and Jordan Love would go 26 for 37, 273 yards, I would have bet the house that we won that game. I would have bet the house. Well, thankfully I didn't today because I'd be homeless. Because the Green Bay Packers took a massive shit at home in November to move to 5-2-1 now. Although it's still a great record, horrible loss. No other way to put it. It's the Green Bay Packer way. They constantly play down to their opponent, and then they play up to their opponent. Next week against the Eagles, they will for sure play better than what they did today. They will. The most thing that wouldn't shock me at all is they go next Monday night and play the Eagles and get a victory, and then the following week lose to the New York Giants, because that has been Green Bay Packer football in the Matt Lafleur era, without a doubt, 100%. They constantly play down to their opponent. If it's the Cleveland Browns this year, who one of the ugliest losses I've ever seen as a Packers fan, to the Dallas Cowboys, tying the Dallas Cowboys. Like, a tie? And now this, against the Carolina Panthers team, who I guess now is 5-4, but literally got their ass fucking spanked, belt to ass, last week against the Buffalo Bills, like 40-9. And yes, just like how the Packers are going to do this upcoming week, the Panthers were for sure not going to play as bad as they did last week. They were going to come in today with a better game plan, and they were planning to execute better, and that's 100% what they did. Although, like I said, Bryce Young went 11 for 20, 102 yards passing. You wouldn't think that, but a man named Rico Dowdle, former ex-Dallas Cowboy, went 25 for 130 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He was the sole offense today. It just makes me sick. You know, another guy that had a great game, a guy I really loved in this upcoming draft, Ted McMillan from Carolina, with 4 catches, 46 yards. But, man, I might be... The NFL is such a week-to-week league. Last week, I was on top of the world. Now, I am at the bottom of the barrel, rethinking everything. And I hate being that guy. I hate being a prisoner of the moment, but man, after today, I just don't know where this football team is headed. And losing today wasn't even the worst part. I would have taken this loss today 100 times out of 100 if it meant saving Tucker Kraft's ACL. Because losing Tucker Kraft I think it was the first half, to what is all but seemingly a torn ACL, after literally last week I was praising him, having his career best day. That is the NFL in a nutshell for you. 1 week you're the top player in the NFL. Like I mentioned, he had the most receiving yards of any player last week. To this week, he now has a, unconfirmed yet, but it's all but confirmed, torn ACL for Tucker Kraft, which will seemingly lead him to not play for the rest of this year. I'll take the loss, but losing Tucker Kraft is 100% even worse. Tucker Kraft makes this offense move in a different ways. Not that Christian Watson can't be great in certain instances. Not that Romeo Doubs can't be great in certain instances. Hopefully when Jaden Reed comes back, he can provide that spark. Tucker Kraft's just a different thing. He's a different... When you add Tucker Kraft, it's like... It's like adding a George Kittle. It's like adding a Rob Gronkowski. Yeah, I might be putting him on a pedestal right now, but he is that type of player. Losing him for the rest of the year, absolutely kicking the fucking nuts right now. Like I said, I hate being prisoner of the moment, but I think there's no way the Packers win a Super Bowl this year. I just don't see it, and this is it sucks because this is a wide open NFL this year. You see it today. Detroit lost today, losing to the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears win today. They moved to 5-3. The Packers still are in first place in the NFC North, but they're like fucking one game back from the 9th seed too, which is just it's so weird. Like I mentioned, there's no dominant team this year, and that's the frustrating part because you would love to have a Tucker Kraft on this team because this year is wide open. Anybody can win it. I really feel it. You're seeing it now. Seattle is just dominating Sunday Night Football right now. They're all but moving to 6-2. It's like Seattle. Like who would be picking Seattle? It's just this whole this conference is wide open. This football league is wide open, and it sucks. What also sucks is the Packers had only 3 offensive drives in the first half. 3, and that's like it's like been like this for the past 5 years in the NFL. The first half just flies by, and then the second half, it's fucking. The second half is like damn near 2 hours long. It's just I hate the running clock in the first half. That's just my nitpick, but it's just frustrating when you only get 3 offensive drives in the first half, and it's fun. The Packers didn't even punt today. That's what the fucking craziest part of this. The whole thing is the Packers didn't even punt today, and they only scored 13 points. Like make that make sense. They only scored 13 points, and they didn't even punt. And Bryce Young only had 102 yards passing. Unbelievable. You know, like I said, three offensive possessions in the first half. First drive, Jordan Love brought his team all the way down. Savion Williams, a rookie, fumbled the ball, turned the ball over. It's just drive killers. And then, just the constant, like the offensive penalties, like Elton Jenkins, get your fucking shit together. Sean Ryan, all these penalties, just the offensive line seems to be absolutely in shambles right now, and that's not good coming from, you sign Aaron Banks this year to a fucking huge contract for a guard. It's just like, I didn't even mention Aaron Banks went out today to go along with Kobe Wooden, who went out today, which a guy we really needed today. Matthew Golden went out today. Tucker Kraft, like I mentioned, went out. Just everything went wrong today for the Green Bay Packers. You lose to a bad football team, in my opinion, and then you lose 4 of your best guys on the team, and it showed because we really needed Kobe Wooden. As soon as he went out, I didn't realize to the extent how much he played an effect on this defensive line, but as soon as he went out, Rico Dowell just ran up and down this defense. And coming into the game, I believe the Packers were one of the top 5 in rushing defense. Not today. Dowell went on a freaking tear. 25 carries, 130 yards, like I mentioned, and 2 touchdowns. It just wasn't not their day today. And another day, it was not their day. It was Micah Parsons. First, according to Next Gen Stats, first game in his NFL career where he did not record a pressure. It's just what the football gods did not want the Packers to win. And no, that's not an excuse. It's It's just one of those, chalk it up to one of those days. He did have one tackle for loss, but not having any pressures today. Everything that I saw, it looked like he was getting double teamed every play, which what you should do. Rashawn Gary couldn't generate any sort of pressure today. The Packers only had one sack today, and that was by Xavier McKinney, who seemingly had a nice day. Led the team in tackles, which you don't necessarily want to see that from your safety. He had 9 to go along with his one sack and his one interception today, which was a big interception because that was also in the red zone. Nice to see that from Xavier McKinney getting his second of the year. But other than that, just Jordan Love. It was Jordan Love's birthday today. Jordan Love's birthday today. He had high passing numbers, 273 yards, but didn't throw a touchdown. Had a horrible pick, throwing it into triple coverage. Like, once again, the man just short is, I think, a really good quarterback. And to be honest, the first half I thought he did great. Although they only had 6 points, I thought he was doing great. And then he just short circuits out of nowhere and throws it into triple coverage. And just wasn't even close to Christian Watson and gets interception. And then there's that other one where he's running to his left, running out of the pocket, and then throws across his body into the end zone. What would have been a 105-yard pick six was dropped by the fucking cornerback for the Carolina Panthers. It should have been. Romeo Doubs was not even in the area, and even if he would have been in the area, he stepped out of bounds, so it would have been a penalty anyways. So just so damn frustrating. This Green Bay Packers team is so wildly inconsistent. It's just mind-boggling to me. There's just so much to question. The biggest, I didn't even mention Brandon McManus, the kicker. He went 2 for 3 today, but he missed up a 40-yarder again. And it's just so frustrating seeing that after you see a guy on the Jacksonville Jaguars hit a 68-yard and NFL record. Just, when you see that and then you see a guy miss a kick that's 20 yards shorter, man, I don't know what you do with that. If you just give him one more week, and if he sucks again, then I would switch him out. But if he makes his kicks next week, then you probably just stick with him. But man, it's so frustrating. But the number one guy for today's loss is 100% Matt Lafleur. And every Packers fan wants him fired today. He's not gonna get fired, nor should he. But man, he should be eating crow all week. Just going for it on 4th and 8 when there was 11 minutes left in the game. You should have just kicked the field goal there. Get it down to 4-point lead. And what do you know? Next possession, Packers get a fucking touchdown, which would have, they would have been up by 3. And so this shit would have just been going to overtime. It's frustrating. Well, you didn't need to go for it on 4th and 8. From your 10 to 15 yard line. You don't go for it on 4th and 8. Kick the field goal, get the points. Hindsight's 20/20, but I'm just so upset about losing Tucker Kraft. Man, Luke Musgrave, you have an opportunity of a lifetime right now. This second-round pick, third-year man out of Oregon State. He did have 3 catches today for 34 yards, a high of the season, his highest of the season, but you have an opportunity of a lifetime to redeem yourself. He cannot block. It's clear. It's so clear that Tucker Kraft has gotten all the first-team reps and seemingly become one of the best tight ends in the NFL. But now you have a shot to redeem your NFL story. Luke Musgrave, this is your chance. I'll be curious to see if the Packers make a move at the deadline for a tight end, or if they sign a Mercedes Lewis, who just signed on the practice squad with the Denver Broncos, just for that blocking purposes. But as of right now, you got Luke Musgrave, you got John Fitzpatrick, and you got a guy named Josh Wiley from Cincinnati on the practice squad. It's just, I'd be curious to know what if they make a move for a tight end at the deadline, because they need something. It's just, Luke Musgrave is just not a block. He's a different type of tight end, and I just don't know if you just revamp your whole offense to make it where this pass heavy for Luke Musgrave, because that's not their game. They want to give they're seemingly going to give Josh Jacobs the ball now, like 60-70% of the time on offense now that Tucker Kraft is gone. So you need a blocking, you need another blocker. So I'd be curious to see if they grab Mercedes Lewis or something like that. But and I mean, Matthew Golden, 2 catches, 9 yards. Just, I don't know what's going on. Deleted his social media accounts, and then, because I think he was frustrated. Now I think he's added him back, but it's like, man, he's going to have a breakout game one of these days. But, man, for a first-round pick, he should not be getting these. Last week's stat, it was like 3 catches for 4 yards. Today, 2 catches for 9 yards. Get the man the ball. And I know he, it was going to be a tough catch, but he did drop a bomb pass today. But, gosh, damn, let's get him going. We need him, because especially, Dobbs had a nice game, 7 catches, 91 yards. Watson had 2 catches for 58 yards. Nice to see him get going, but, we are very injured right now, and we need guys to get healthy. We need Jaden Reed back, without a doubt. And it's not. I haven't completely given up on the NFC North winning it, but it's gonna be tough now. You got a tough set of games going forward. You got, like I mentioned, next week the Eagles, and then the following week you got the Giants, who. They lost today, but they're seemingly a better team than what they were week 1. They're gonna be tough, without a doubt. Then you got the Vikings, who, like I said, beat Detroit today. You got Chicago 2 more times this year. Another game against Minnesota. Another game against Baltimore, who's just has won their last 2 games with Lamar Jackson coming back. It's gonna be a tough ass road for the rest of the year, without a doubt. And the Packers got to find a way to get their shit together. Otherwise, Matt Lafleur is going to be on the hot seat by the end of the year. Thank you guys for watching these videos every single week. Drop your opinions down below in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching. And hope you guys have a good rest of your day, because I am in shambles.